Now let's get into an example that allows us to see the intermediate steps that the language model is taking and also allows it to interact with a tool so that it can have a ground truth for its answers. In this case, we're going to use a Python REPL. And so the language model is going to be able to see its previous steps and also execute one of the observation, action, thought loops that we've discussed. I'm providing a prefix and a suffix, and we can give it a stylistic tone. So if we want to say, talk like a pirate, which is an example from the LangChain docs, or in this case I said, use overly dramatic language and punctuation when you give your final answer. And I also reminded it to use the print function in Python code so that the responses would show up in the observation panel. We provide these templating hooks here, so previous steps, input, and the important agent scratchpad. I'm loading some math tools here, and what we do to construct our agent is use the zero-shot agent class create prompt method, and that just combines our tools, our prefix, our suffix, and identifies the input variables. We create a simple large language model chain class constructor here, and we're going to pass it a conversation buffer memory class that hooks into the previous steps part of the template. Now, in order to create a agent using all of these initialization values, the agent executor provides a from agent and tools method. So this simply takes the agent, the tools, I'm setting verbose to true, and I'm providing the memory. Just as a simple demonstration, I did a prompt, what is a Python function that checks if two numbers can be evenly divided? And I asked it to provide 3 or less tests. As you can see, it immediately dives into this thought action observation loop. And on the first action, it failed to use or return any values. This is just a function definition. And so there was no observation. But then it sees that and it says, I need to test that this function works. And so it provides a test, print is divisible, and then it loops through 2 more times to meet my expectation that there are 3 tests. And so I can follow along with the reasoning of the large language model in order to accomplish my goal. Once it's completed the tests, it says, I now know this function works as expected, and it failed to have any dramatic language here, but it did respond with the correct answers.